And with troops now deployed in Chicago, Memphis, D.C., and beyond, the left is doing everything it can to stop it. Oregon suing to block the Portland deployment. Chicago PD apparently told not to help ambushed feds.
Illinois and California Governors Pritzker and Newsom now threatening to leave the National Governors Association unless the group agrees to condemn Trump's crime crackdown. From the legal courts to the court of public opinion, the left is hell-bent on protecting criminals to spite Trump. Take a listen to Chicago's mayor.
What we are hearing, the National Guard, first of all, it's illegal, unconstitutional, it's dangerous. This is about authoritarianism. Donald Trump, he's a brittle man, incredibly fragile. And that weakness of insecurity has created a great deal of rage. Donald Trump declared war on Chicago. That's what he did.
Joining us now to discuss, I'm pleased to welcome Polk County, Florida Sheriff Grady Judd. Sheriff Judd, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Sheriff, I have a
Lydia, it's my honor to be with you.
Yeah, Sheriff, this is Marcus. I have my first question for you. If you were in this situation and the National Guard was being sent to you under a different administration, maybe a Democratic administration, how would you handle this differently?
I absolutely would welcome the National Guard with wide open arms, and I would thank them. And that's necessary. That is really necessary in Chicago. I can tell you the Chicago police officers would charge in there with their colleagues from federal ICE and deal with that issue if they were allowed to. This is a leadership issue. It's a leadership issue in the police department. It's a leadership issue in the mayor's office. It's a leadership issue in the governor's office. I can't believe what I am seeing. I've been in this business my entire adult life, and never, ever, ever have I seen one police agency to have been told, don't go help another one in danger. And I heard that and read that on the Chicago Police CAD screen. Now they can see and say anything they want to today, but at the end of the day, that patrol chief told that 999 not to respond, to leave the area.
That's right. We are hearing from Chicago police that they're calling this a miscommunication of sorts, but you are right. The documents show us otherwise, that the Chicago Police Department apparently were told not to go in and respond and help the feds. I've heard some of your comments about that particular decision, calling it a slippery slope. I mean, we see the riots that are unfolding. What kind of message does that send to policing communities across the country when you have law enforcement told, don't respond, don't help?
Well, here's what's occurring. You are enabling and encouraging and supporting the anarchists, the criminals. It's a very, very small percentage of the society in any community that is ugly and mean and violent. That could be put down and dealt with immediately. You have to have support by the criminal justice system. You have to have a place to lock them up in jail. But listen to me, I've done this my entire adult life. That problem can be solved with professional police leadership and professional political leadership. But when the politicians play political games because they're of a different party, and on the ground the police officers are in danger, that is a slippery slope. And I can tell you clearly and unequivocally, that would not happen here. In our system, as an elected sheriff, the mayors, the police, the mayors don't get to tell me what to do. We do what's right.
Yeah, well, Sheriff, we heard the Chicago police superintendent say yesterday that he did not provide those orders, that he did not ask people to not respond, and that he is willing to participate and follow the rule of the federal government. Where do you think the breakdown is? Is it with the mayor specifically?
Well, I can tell you if that's accurate information, and I was the superintendent, then I would fire the patrol chief, period, because the patrol chief wouldn't allow them to go in. In fact, that if you listen to the dispatching, you understand police lingo. 999 told them to go to the area, but don't go in, and stand by for more direction. So he was prepared to send that group of police officers in to help ICE. And a few minutes later, I suspect he had a call on the telephone or on the cell phone with the police patrol chief, who told him, no, leave the area, leave the area. Now, do I believe that that patrol chief made that decision unilaterally? No, I don't. I believe it came from the chief of department, the superintendent, as they're called, and the superintendent probably more than likely got it from the mayor. Listen to me. Police officers will charge in and do what's right. They were held out from helping.
Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd love to be on with y'all. And I pray for the police officers in and around Chicago. They need the National Guard.
We agree.
We do as well. Thank you very much, Sheriff Judd.